All right, today we are diving into Seeker and its token, SKR. And look, this isn't just another crypto project. This is a super ambitious attempt by Solana Mobile to build a whole new kind of smartphone, right from the ground up, one that mixes hardware, software, and the blockchain. It's a huge idea. So let's get into what it really means to have a phone that's truly native to Web3.
So let's just start with this question, right? I mean, the phone you're holding right now, it can run Web3 apps, sure. But what if the device itself, the actual hardware, was native to the blockchain? What if its security, its very identity, was baked into it from the start? Well, that's the entire idea behind Seeker.
So what exactly makes this different from just a regular phone with a few crypto apps already installed? Well, it all starts with completely rethinking how the phone itself talks to the blockchain. Okay, so Seeker is basically designed to be a complete Web3 world right in your pocket. It's built on Solana, which you know is fast and cheap to use. But the key here is that everything, from how it keeps your stuff safe to how it proves who you are, is handled at the hardware level. It's not just some software you download.
Okay, now let's get into the really cool tech stuff, the part that actually separates Seeker from the phone you're probably watching this on. The real magic isn't what you see on the screen. It's buried deep inside the phone's chips.
This is the part that, for me, really makes the whole concept click. On your phone right now, your crypto wallet is just an app. It's sitting there with all your other apps, and it's exposed to the same kinds of risks. Seeker's whole approach is to build that security right into the phone's core. And they do that with something called the seed vault. The best way to think about this is like a tiny, super secure digital safe that's literally built into the phone's main chip. It keeps your most important stuff, your private keys, your seed phrases, totally separate from the rest of the phone's operating system. That makes it incredibly hard for any malware or hacker to get their hands on it. And then, on top of that secure vault, every single phone gets what they call a Seeker ID. You can think of it like a hardware passport. It gives the physical phone its own unique, verifiable identity on the Solana blockchain. So it's not just some anonymous piece of hardware anymore, it becomes a trusted part of the network.
So you've got this cool new hardware. But how do you get everyone, users, developers, the devices themselves, to work together? Well, that's where the SKR token comes in. It's the economic engine designed to make this whole new world go round.
So the total supply is capped at 10 billion tokens. But look, a big number like that doesn't really tell you much on its own. What's way more important is how those tokens are actually given out and what you can do with them.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You can see the strategy here. A massive 30% goes straight to the community. Then you've got another 10% for a treasury, for things like grants, and another 25% for growth. So you can see right away, this whole thing is designed to get people on board, to incentivize you to buy the phone, use the apps, and even build new stuff for it.
Right, so this token isn't just something to trade. It's all about utility. It's meant to give you, the user, a real say in how this thing develops. By staking your tokens or voting on proposals, you're actually helping to improve the whole platform, which in theory makes both the phone and the token more valuable over time.
But look, a great idea on paper is one thing. Actually making it happen and getting people to use it, that's a whole different ballgame. So let's take a look at the excitement around this and the very real challenges it's facing.
Well, the early signs are definitely encouraging. The Seeker phone has already pulled in over 150,000 pre-orders from all over the world. Now, that level of interest shows that this isn't just some super niche thing for crypto fanatics. There's some real, genuine curiosity out there.
In this chart, it really just nails the key difference here. A normal smartphone sees crypto as just another app you can download. But Seeker, it weaves Web3 into its very DNA, from the hardware-level security to that on-chain identity, and its own special app store for Web3.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. The challenges are huge. For one, building good hardware is incredibly difficult. You've got potential quality control issues, customer support, you name it. But the biggest risk of all, the entire project, including the whole point of the SKR token, is completely tied to how well the phone sells. If people don't buy the phone, the token has no utility and the whole thing just falls apart.
So this all leads us to the big question, doesn't it? Is a dedicated Web3 phone this massive leap forward we've been waiting for? Or is it just a really cool experiment that's maybe a little too ahead of its time?
You know, I can see this playing out in basically one of three ways. In the absolute best case scenario, Seeker completely changes the game and becomes the new standard for how we all use Web3 on our phones. Or maybe it just becomes a really popular but still niche device for people who are already deep into crypto.
And then there's the third option. It just doesn't catch on with the wider public, and the whole idea of a crypto phone kind of fades away.
And really, that's the final thought here. Because at the end of the day, the success of Seeker and the SKR token isn't going to be about price charts or fancy tech specs. It's all going to boil down to a much simpler question. In a world where our current phones can already run crypto apps, does anybody actually need a phone built just for Web3? The answer to that question is going to decide everything.